You know the moment. A new listing goes live, and for a few days, it feels fine. Views come in, maybe even a favorite. You do not celebrate, but you relax a little. Then it slows. Then it drops. And after that, it feels like the listing is invisible. This video is not here to scare you or hype a fix. It is just here to explain one quiet reason this pattern happens so often, even when you did nothing obviously wrong. What makes this frustrating is the silence. There is no alert, no clear mistake, no warning. The listing just fades. And because you are tired, your brain starts filling in the gaps. Maybe Etsy changed something. Maybe the niche is dead. Maybe you waited too long. Today, I want to slow this down and talk through what is actually happening underneath that rise and fall, without blaming you or the platform. When a listing first gets views, it feels like proof. Proof that your idea was good. Proof that the photos worked. Proof that you finally cracked something. That feeling is important because it is honest. The views are real. People really did see it. But early attention does not mean the system decided to keep showing it. It just means the system decided to look at it for a moment and see how people reacted. When those views stop, it often feels personal, like you lost momentum or made a wrong move. But most of the time, nothing changed on your side at all. No edit, no mistake, no penalty. The listing did not get punished. It simply stopped being tested. And that difference matters, because punishment feels emotional, while testing is mechanical. Understanding that helps you stop spiraling when a listing fades. If you talk to enough Etsy sellers, you hear the same story over and over. A few days of movement, then nothing. It happens across niches, styles, and shop sizes. That consistency is a clue. When a pattern shows up this often, it is rarely about individual talent or effort. It usually means there is a shared system behavior underneath that everyone is brushing up against, whether they realize it or not. Those first views are not a reward. They are a question. Etsy is essentially asking, quietly, what happens when this listing is shown? Do people pause? Do they click? Do they stay? Do they leave quickly? None of this is dramatic or judgmental. It is just observation. And the answer to that question is formed very fast, often before a seller has emotionally registered that anything is happening at all. That early window is shorter than most people think. It is not weeks. It is not even many days. It is a brief period where the system gathers signals from real shoppers. After that, the system does not keep asking the same question forever. It either keeps the listing in circulation or quietly steps back. When views drop, it usually means the test ended, not that something broke. This is where frustration grows. You might have spent hours on the listing. Careful wording, thoughtful photos, clean mock-ups. All of that effort matters, but it does not extend the test window. The system does not know how tired you were or how careful you were. It only knows how shoppers behaved in that early moment. Effort and outcome are not always synchronized in time. Here is the single core issue behind most listings that get views and then disappear. A mismatch between what the listing promises at a glance and what the shopper experiences after clicking. Not a bad product, not bad intentions, just a subtle disconnect. When that happens, shoppers leave quickly, even if they like the idea. And quick exits are quiet signals that say, do not keep showing this widely. Most shoppers do not analyze a listing. They feel it. Within seconds, they decide if what they see matches what they expected. If it does, they stay longer. If it does not, they leave without thinking about it. That exit is not anger. It is not rejection. It is simply a lack of alignment. But when enough people do that, the system reads it as a completed answer to its early question. A listing can attract interest without attracting buying intent. That happens when a title or image is intriguing, but the deeper details narrow the audience more than expected. People click because they are curious. then realize it is not quite for them. Curiosity creates views. Alignment creates depth. The system cares more about depth. When depth is missing, the listing stops being surfaced, even if clicks happened. This behavior is not hostile to sellers. It is protective of shoppers. Etsy wants to show items that consistently match what people hope to find. If a listing creates small moments of confusion or disappointment, even unintentionally, the system reduces its exposure. It is not a judgment on quality. It is a preference for predictability. The platform quietly favors listings that make fewer people back out after clicking. Once that early test has ended, small edits usually do not restart it. Changing a word or swapping a photo can improve clarity for future shoppers, but it does not rewind the original observation period. That is why constant tweaking often feels useless. It is not that edits are wrong. It is that the moment they would have mattered most has already passed, and the system has moved on. From the seller's side, the drop feels sudden. From the system's side, it is gradual and calm. Exposure is reduced little by little as signals stabilize. There is no dramatic cutoff, just fewer impressions over time. Because sellers see only the end result, it feels abrupt. Understanding that difference helps explain why listings often fade quietly instead of crashing all at once. When a listing stops getting views, it is easy to label it a failure. But that framing adds weight that does not belong there. Most listings that fade simply answered a narrow question in a specific context. They were tested, observed, and set aside. That is not failure. It is information. It tells you something about how your presentation aligned with real shopper expectations in that moment. Listings that last are not louder or smarter. They are calmer. They clearly signal who they are for and who they are not for, right from the first glance. That clarity reduces curiosity clicks, but increases meaningful ones. Fewer people click, but more people stay. That trade-off creates stability. And stability, not spikes, is what keeps a listing circulating quietly over time. The less surprised a shopper feels after clicking, the safer the listing appears to the system. Clear photos, honest framing, accurate tone. When the experience matches the promise, shoppers linger, even if they do not buy immediately. That lingering is a signal of comfort. Over time, those small moments of comfort are what keep a listing from fading after its initial exposure ends. When you understand this pattern, the drop stops feeling mysterious. It stops feeling like something you broke. Listings get views, answer a question, and then step aside. Some align deeply and stay longer. Others do not. That is normal. The goal is not to chase spikes, but to reduce mismatch. More explanations like this coming to the channel.